Hello everybody, my name is Rohit. I take physical education on behalf of PrepSchool. In today's session, we will be studying about yoga and lifestyle. Now, this topic is not new to you. You actually studied this topic back in your 11th standard. Then how come this topic is different from the topic that you had back in your 11th standard? Back in 11th standard, you just got a bird's eye view or a cloud view of the whole topic. In today's session, we will be getting more in depth into yoga and its benefits in curing different diseases. Now without wasting much time, now before we get into this session, let's see what all things are covered in this. So let's have a chapter overview. As you can see, the first we will be covering meaning of asana. After that, we will be proceeding with benefits of asana for the prevention of diseases. Then we'll move forward with asanas for obesity, asanas for diabetes, asanas for asthma, asana for hypertension, and finally we'll conclude the whole topic with asana for back pain. Now without wasting much time, let's jump into each one of them and try to understand the whole topic in depth. Now as you can see, asana means what? Basically, what is asana? Asana is a Sanskrit term which in English means posture. Any pose that you do, any postures that you do is basically asana. In Patanjali's word, and again once again, who is Patanjali? Patanjali is the father of yoga. You learned this in 11th standard again, so I'm repeating it again to brush up your memory. Now Patanjali is who? Patanjali is the father of yoga who compiled different asanas and different yogic practices. According to his wordings and in his wordings, yoga means sthiram sukham asanam, which means that position which is comfortable and steady. That position which is comfortable and steady is called as asana. So basically asana is what? Asana is the posture which makes you feel comfortable. The posture in which you sit and it makes you comfortable is basically asana. In other words, in Brahmana Parishad, to sit in a comfortable posture or posture for a longer period of time is again called as asana. So you have again two definitions here, but the most definition again is Sthitam Sukham Asanam, that is by Patanjali. I hope the meaning of yogasana is clear to you. What is asana? Again, asana is posture. What is it again? Asana means posture. A comfortable posture in which you can sit and feel comfortable is basically what? It is asana. Now let's move on to the next topic. The next topic, as you can see, what is it? It is benefits of asana for prevention of diseases. Now, if you look into that, what are the overall benefits? We will get into each different diseases, common diseases that we see in our society today and see what all asanas can cure that. But before we get in deep into individual diseases and its cure, let's see the overall and general benefit of yogasanas. First, it makes your bones and joints very strong. Second, it makes your muscles strong. Obviously, to do any kind of physical activity, muscles are involved in for the locomotion and the movement of the body. The third benefit is its circulation of blood becomes normal. Any kind of palpitations that you have in your body. What is again palpitation? Palpitation is when your blood becomes thicker. So any kind of blood clots or any kind of blood palpitation that you have in your body becomes your blood flow or blood circulation more smooth in your body. So yoga also helps with the blood circulation of overall body. Now when we study about each different diseases and its asanas, you'll get to know that particular kind of yoga asana helps to regulate the blood circulation in that particular region. But overall, as I said, we are discussing about overall benefits of yoga asanas. When you practice any kind of yoga asanas, it will cure or it will improve the blood circulation of overall body. Moving on to the next benefit, it improves your respiratory organs efficiency. What are your respiratory organs? Again, your lungs and your mouth involved in that. So the efficiency of that, involvement in that, the chain process of your physiological anatomy that is involved in the respiration will be made more efficient when you practice yoga. Okay. Next, efficiency of digestive system increases. Again, it's important that all the systems in your body is equally made efficient, because again it's all connected. It's a chain process. The fitness of your body is not dependent on one particular organ system. In fact, dependent on the whole organ system. So it is important for your cardiological system, your respiratory system, your digestive system and your endocrine system to be equally fit. Moving on to next, it will also help you to make your nervous system more efficient. That's the next point. Nervous system is strengthened, it is made more efficient, you will be curing your stress, you will be distressing your body, or you will be again having a relief when you practice any kind of yogasanas. Okay. Now next point, glandular activity is stimulated and regulated properly. Now what is glandular activity? If you remember in 11th standards anatomy and physiological classes, you might remember that we learned something about endocrine system, right? There are different systems in our body. What are those systems? We have cardiovascular system, we have respiratory system, we have digestive system, we have endocrine system, right? What is that particular endocrine system? Endocrine system includes different kind of glands in our body which releases different chemical compounds, which is again necessary for chemical reactions and processes that goes on in our body to carry out our life, right? So it is important to keep our glandular system healthy. Again, glandular systems, again different name is what? Endocrine system. So if you get endocrine system or glandular system, don't get confused, it's the same. So basically all yogasanas does what? It improves your efficiency of glandular system. Okay. Next, efficiency of excretory system enhances. What does it do? Efficiency of your excretory system also enhances when you practice any kind of yogasana. Moving on to the final overall benefit, it improves your immune system. Your immune system becomes strong. Now, given all the COVID situation that is going on, given all the pandemic that is going on, it is being said that if your immunity is strong enough, you won't catch the fever or you won't catch the COVID-19 virus, right? So this point, especially the ninth and the final point of overall benefit of yogasana, it is now even more relevant given all the situation that is going on. If we keep away our COVID situation also, if your immunity system is strong enough, what will happen is 90% of your diseases will not come near to you. What happens is that if your body is weak and if your immune system is not strong enough, whatever diseases or bacteria or microorganisms are present in the atmosphere will catch you fast if your immune system is not strong enough. So it is important to keep your immune system strong, and yogasana helps you to achieve that goal. Now let's move on to the next topic. Now in that we will see the particular asana for obesity. Now what do you mean by obesity? What is obesity basically? Obesity is a situation of a body in which excessive fat is present in our body than that is required. Now people say that burn fat, we should remove fat. Fats are necessary for our body, but there is a limit to that. If you cross that limit, you are again in a condition of obeseness. Okay, so obesity is what basically when you exceed the required amount of fat levels in your body, it is called obesity. Or in other words, when you get overweight. Now how do you know whether you're overweight or underweight or normal weight? If you remember about BMI, what is BMI? We learned this in 11th standard. What is BMI? BMI is body mass. What is it? BMI is body mass index. Now, BMI is body mass index and set of benchmark that is formed which shows us that according to your height and according to your gender, you should have this much of weight. If you are below that weight, what are you? You are underweight. If you are on that weight or around that weight, it is again what? Normal weight. If you exceed that particular benchmark, what are you again? Overweight. And that overweight category is again called as obese, right? So obesity is what? When you exceed the required amount of fat or required amount of weight in your body, again that is again called as obesity. Now there are a lot of yogasanas that will help you to cure that, to help you to fix that. You don't have to do extra excessive vigorous activity to burn that calories. You can always perform these yogasanas that we are going to study now, and we will look into each one of them, the yogasanas which will help you to cure your obese situation or obesity. Now, the yogasanas that we are looking over here are not the only yogasanas that will help you with obese, but these are some of the very common yogasanas, some of the most easiest yogasanas that you can practice to help you with obesity. Okay, so what is the first asana? Vajrasana. We will get into each one of these asana one by one and try to understand it in depth, and we will see the benefit. You have performed all these asanas in 11th standard. So procedure is not a doubtful question. Procedure, you already know how to do that. You have done this. You had your yoga session in 11th standard. There you learned the procedure. But in this session, you will be learning the benefits of those asanas that you performed back then. Okay, you will be learning the benefits, and also you will be learning the contradictions. Okay, you will be learning the contradictions also. So one by one, let's see what all asanas will help you to cure your obesity. First, it is Vajrasana. Second, it is Padahastasana. Third, it is Urdhvastasana. Then it is Trikonasana, and finally we have Ardha Matsyendrasana. So these are the total 5 asanas that will help you to deal with your obesity. Now let's go into each one of them one by one and see what all benefits does it have. What's the second category that we're going to cover? What all contradictions that we're going to have. Okay. Now moving on to next. What all benefits does it have? Vajrasana. Now before we get into this, you already know the nomenclature. We studied about the nomenclature of Vajrasana. What exactly is Vajrasana? Asana is what? We learned asana is posture. Vajra is what? It's a diamond. It brings back your memories. You have performed this, right? You remember this asana. What is Vajrasana? Vajrasana is diamond pose. Why is it called as diamond pose? As you know, diamond is the hardest form of carbon. Diamond is supposed to be hard, right? Basically, this asana makes your core strength high, okay? It makes your body more strong. That's why this asana is named as what? Vajrasana, okay? So now let's see the benefits of Vajrasana. First, it improves your concentration. It improves your concentration. If you have any kind of problem with concentrating on a particular thing that you're doing, or particular work or particular study that you're doing, practicing this Vajrasana will help you to fix that particular problem. Moving on to next, we have it helps in curing dysentery, back pain and chest diseases. Please make a note of that. What all does it help with? It helps you with dysentery, back pain and chest diseases. So all these 3 issues that you have also get fixed along with making your body more strong when you practice Vajrasana. What is the third benefit? It enhances your memory power. What does it do? It enhances your memory power. So if you have a problem of forgetting things, if you have a plan of studying 4 chapters, you are studying the first chapter, you are studying the second chapter, when you reach 4th chapter, if you forget the first chapter, that's again a problem, right? Practicing Vajrasana will help you to retain your memory. The retention of your memory will be made more efficient and strong when you practice Vajrasana. Okay? After that, it removes defects or deformities. So if you have any kind of deformity in your body, now we also studied about deformities in the anatomy session in 11th standard, if you remember. What are those deformities? We have, what all different kind of deformities do we have? We have shoulder deformity. We have what? We have, name the different kind of, try to think about different kind of deformities that we studied. We have spinal deformity, we have leg deformity, we have knee deformity, right? All these kind of different deformities that we have in our body gets cured when you practice Vajrasana, because Vajrasana makes what? Vajrasana makes you strong. Moving on to next, it gives release from what all things? Constipation, acidity, and increases the efficiency of your digestive system. It is important to improve the efficiency of your digestive system. Now let's think. Now you may think that what does digestive system has to do with obesity, right? Obesity is a different thing, digestive system is a different thing. What is the relation? Why Vajrasana is categorized under obesity situation, and still we are talking about digestive system's improvement, and what is the relation of that? Now here's a quick science and easy science behind it. Basically, how does fat stack up in your body? How does fat stack up in your body? Fat gets stacked up in your body when the body is not able to use a particular set of calories or fats that is not used. Your body takes up and saves in form of secondary or reserve energy. What is fat basically? People are scared of fat, right? What exactly is fat? Fat is the secondary source of your energy. Primary source is what? We studied nutrients chapter, right? In that you might remember what is the primary source of energy? It is carbohydrates, okay? And what is the secondary source? It is fat. So basically carbohydrates is like your main tank in a vehicle, and fat is what? It's like a reserve tank, right? When you don't have enough carbohydrates present in your body, the body depends on the reserve fuel, that is the fat present in your body, to take up the energy to carry out your day or to carry out your activity. But It's very rare situation that you don't have carbohydrates in your body, because you eat food 3 times a day, right? Enough carbohydrates you get. So there is no chance that your body is tapping into that reserve energy that you're stacking up, that is a fat. So since that energy is not being tapped, fat storage is becoming more and more. That shows up in your body in form of fat. So basically, when you digest food faster, okay, when your metabolism is stronger, the calories gets burned and it gets taken up by your body faster. So automatically, when your digestive system is stronger, the calories get burns faster, and it helps you with the fat that is present in your body, or it helps you with the situation of obesity. Now you understand the link and the chain, why exactly we are talking about. It will help you with constipation, acidity, and efficiency of your digestive system. All these things are related to helping you with your digestion, which in turn will help you with obesity. Okay? Now, given all the benefits, let's move on to the contradictions. Now, we have benefits, you know what all benefits are there, but there are some contradictions also. What are contradictions? Contradictions are those situations in which you are not supposed to practice that particular asana, because end of the day, it's a part of natural science. It's a treatment. Your Vajrasana or any other asana that you do or we practice, it is a yogasana, it is a physical activity, but it also has contradictions, and you should know those contradictions when you practice that particular asana, because you may never know that you may fit into that contradictions category and you are not supposed to practice as asana. So let's see what all contradiction does it have. First, a person who is suffering from joint pain should not perform Vajrasana. So if you have a joint pain, now I am not talking about joint pain that you get when you sit for a long period of time, and if you are tired, if you are working for a long period of time. I am not talking about that particular pain. I am talking about regular chronic joint pain that you have because of some bone issues or anything like that. In that situation, you are restricted, or you are not supposed to practice Vajrasana. Second, the individual who have any spinal problem should not practice this. Again, now when I talk about spinal collar problem, and when I talk about spinal curvature, and when I talk about back pain, please make sure or make a note of this. 3 of those things are different from each other. Back pain is what? It's a pain in your back section, okay? All over back. It will include your back muscle, it will include your spinal cord, and your spinal curvature is different. It's one of the deformity that we studied, scoliosis, lordosis, kyphosis, if you remember. All those things are spinal problem, okay? Now here they are talking about a spinal column problem is when you have a problem with a particular column or particular spinal section of your whole vertebrae. In those situations, you're not supposed to practice Vajrasana. Keep that in mind. Try to understand the difference between small little things and try to make a note of that so that you don't get confused when you revise this or when you study this. Next contradiction, that is the individual who have difficulty in movement should not practice again Vajrasana. They should not practice Vajrasana. Now here you can practice Vajrasana only when you're supervised by a expert in that particular asana, okay? So you should only practice this asana under strict supervision. That's the point. So basically, if you are alone, if you don't know the contradictions or if you don't know the particularities of these asanas, please don't perform this asana all alone, okay? If you have body movement pain, if you have any kind of gross movement pain, please don't do that. Please don't perform this asana. It is restricted from those people who have that situation, okay? So that's it of Vajrasana. Now you know the benefits of Vajrasana. Now you know the contradictions of Vajrasana. Let's move on to the next asana. What is the next asana? Pada Hastasana. So now let's look into Pada Hastasana. Again, as you can see over here from the subject, again remember this asana from 11th standard, right? You remember from the practical lab. Again, Pada Hastasana is one another asana that will help you with your obesity situation. So what all benefits does it have? First benefit, Pada Hastasana makes the body very flexible. Now one of the common benefit of any yogasana that you practice, any yogasana in any category you practice, yoga in general makes your body strong and flexible, okay? So whenever somebody says you want to make your body more flexible for your lifestyle, for any other situations, they generally recommend yoga. Yoga is one physical activity which is the most recommended physical activity which will make your body's flexibility very high. So it helps you to increase the flexibility of your body. What is the second benefit? It helps in eliminating excess belly fat. Now that's what we want when you talk about obesity, right? It helps you to reduce excess belly fat that is present in your body. How does it reduce the belly fat in your body? As you can see from the image in the subject is compressing its abdomen or belly to the thigh. So when you compress your belly along with your thigh for a longer period of time, automatically the muscle around that area in your abdomen is put pressure on. So when the pressure is applied on that particular area for a longer period of time, calories is burned and your body loses fat in that case, and that's how it helps you to reduce fat percentage in your body, which will again in turn help you with your situation of obesity. Moving on to next benefit, it improves digestion and reduces constipation. I need not go again. Why again digestion is helpful for obesity? We just now talked slides behind, just in the previous asana, right? So again it helps you with digestion, which again will help you with what? Burning of fat, which again will help you with controlling your obesity situation. Now next, moving on to the 4th point, it makes the spine flexible and tones the nerves. So any problem that you have with your spinal cord, you generally sit at your workplace or at your school for a longer period of time and you feel this pain, they're building up behind your backache and you just feel like to stretch, right? Why do you feel like that? Because your body has been, or your back has been idle for a long period of time without moving. Thus it creates a tension in that spinal cord and it starts creating a pain, and the body demands a movement by giving a pain, and thus that pain comes in your body. So all those pain and all those things can be reduced when you practice Padahastasana. Okay, as you can see from the image, when you sit, how do you sit? When you sit straight, your body spinal cord is in this direction. As you can see from Padahastasana, your spinal cord is being bent down. So generally, when your spinal cord is kept for a longer period of time in which or any particular direction, that tension forms in that particular curvature. So when you again push it back to the opposite side of that and sit like that for a longer period of time, automatically that particular section gets a bit of relief. That's the whole science behind Padahastasana again. It will help you to reduce any kind of problem or pain that is present in your spinal. Now moving on to next, it improves your blood circulation. Now here particularly it will help you to improve your blood circulation in your nervous system. Okay, as you put your head down while you practice Padahastasana, the blood rushes through your nervous system in much more faster way, and it will rejuvenate all the processes that goes on in your nervous system and your brain, and it will improve the blood circulation in your nervous system. So these were the benefits of Padahastasana. Now again, like I said, every asana and every yogic practice has its benefits and has its contradictions. Now let's see what contradiction does this particular Padahastasana has. What is it? First one, people with back pain should avoid this. That's the only contradiction that this has. People who have back pain should avoid practicing this. Now again, stress on the word what? Back pain. Before we again had spinal pain, spinal column pain, right? Now we have back pain. In coming slides, you will have spinal curvature issues. So please try to understand the difference. When they talk about back pain over here, back pain is generally pain in your back part of your body, that is the upper back part of your torso, the upper torso part of your body. Now when we say back, it could be a spinal, it could be a back muscle. So it's not particularly saying your back muscle pain or your spinal pain. We are talking about overall upper back torso pain. So keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. We are talking about back pain. If you have back pain issue, you are not supposed to practice this. Again, you may say that, won't it fix any kind of problem? If you have back pain, if you do like this, won't it fix the pain? Now here's the thing, until unless you are sure about what is causing that back pain, if you are tired and that back pain is being caused, then you can still practice Padahastasana and there won't be an issue. If that back pain is due to some chronic physiological problem inside, not anatomical but physiological problem inside, then it's not recommended to practice Padahastasana. In that case, you are restricted. In that situation, it is a contradiction and you are restricted to practice Padahastasana. Now, moving on to the next asana, that is what? That is Urdhvastasana. Now, what is Urdhvastasana again? Again, Urdhvastasana is the third asana that will help you to cure your obesity. Now, what are the benefits of Urdhvastasana? First, it improves your digestion. Again, need not explain why digestion mentioned here and how digestion helps with the obesity. I already explained you the science behind it. Now it improves your digestion, that's the first benefit, and it relieves stress and anxiety. So this is one common thing everybody has, right? People who go to office, they have office pressure and their work pressure. People who go to school and college, again students, they have study pressure and all those kind of things. You have to study, you have a lot of things that going on in your mind. Practicing this asana will release the stress. It will help you to study better. It will help you to concentrate and focus on your studies or work better. So keep this in mind. Next, it enhances your body posture. Now, how does it enhances your body posture? Instead of going into how, what exactly is body posture, first try to understand that. So your ideal body posture is when your vertebrae is in a very normal situation. If you have kyphosis, if you have a bent curvature spine, obviously your body will be bent like this, and that's not a good posture. Again, if you have kyphosis or lordosis, again your back spinal will be bent from the lower part of the spinal, and obviously it will again have a different kind of posture to your body. It will give again an unnatural curvature to your body. That's again unnatural posture for your body. So this particular asana will help you to fix that and put back your body into a perfect natural body posture. So that's one benefit of Vidhyaashram. Moving on to next, it eases sciatica. Now what is sciatica? Sciatica is again one more spinal issue that again it helps you to solve that. Vidhyaashram helps you to solve the situation of sciatica. What is the contradiction of again Vidhyaashram? Like I said, every asana has its benefits as well as it has its contradiction. Now what is the contradiction of Vidhyaashram? It is, this asana should not be practiced with any shoulder or neck injury. If you have a shoulder injury or if you have a neck injury, you are not supposed to practice this particular asana. Keep that in mind. We are talking about injury, not pain. If you have a normal pain because of, again like I said, tiredness or long hours of sitting in front of system or working for a long period of time, in that situation you can practice. But if you have an injury that recently got surgery, you had a recent fracture on your neck or on your shoulder, in that case you're not supposed to practice Vidhyaashram. Okay, so these are the benefits of Vidhyaashram and the contradictions of Vidhyaashram. Now moving on to next, we have Trikonasana. Now what exactly is Trikonasana? What is again Trikonasana? Trikon is what again? Triangle. Triangle in Sanskrit is called as Trikon, or Hindi also we call it as Trikon. Trikon is triangle. Now as you can see, before we get into the benefits and contradiction of Trikonasana, let's get into the formation of Trikonasana. As you can see, this is one point, this is second point, and this is third point, right? If you combine these 3 points together, it will form what? It will form a triangle. Now you already know this procedure, you already know how to perform this asana. It is just a brush up of how you used to perform it back in 11th standard practicals. Now let's get into the benefits of that, benefits of Trikonasana. First, it improves your blood circulation throughout the whole body. Throughout your whole body, it improves your blood circulation. Now stress on throughout the whole body. So here they have not said any nervous system. Here it will not help you with any kind of blood circulation. Your cardiac system or digestive system, it is for overall body. So it will help you to increase the blood circulation in all over body. It's not, we are not talking about a particular section of your body, but the whole body's blood circulation will be improved when you practice what? Trikonasana. Moving on to next, the Trikonasana is well-known stress buster in yoga community. Now again, it is a well-known stress buster. So if you have any kind of stress issues, like I said, anxiety issues, any kind of tension or any kind of pressure that you're feeling, if you're feeling chaotic inside, if you want a calm and peace situation or a mind reset, in another word, you can always practice Trikonasana and it will help you to do that. Okay. Now moving on to next, we have third, that is it stimulates renal functions. It helps you with fat reduction, and near which area? Near your waist and thigh region. Basically here they have mentioned, like I said, for some asana will target some particular part of the body and some other asanas will help you with overall fat reduction of your body. Now looking into this particular asana, it will help you to reduce fat near your waist and thigh region. So keep this in mind. Note this particularly, it will help you, Trikonasana will help you to reduce weight or fat around your thigh and which part? Thigh and waist part of your body. Please keep that in mind. Next benefit is that overall body balance is maintained. Okay, overall body balance is significantly improved or significantly maintained in a better way if you practice Trikonasana. Now what do you mean by overall body balance? Physical balance of you standing, or is it something related to the physiology and anatomy? Basically, like I said, again human body's study is again divided into anatomy and physiology, right? Anatomy and physiology is connected together. They both run together. They both depend on each other to survive, right? So balance of your physiology and your anatomy, as well as your psychological and your physical balance, all together this balance is maintained when you practice Trikonasana. So that is again the fourth benefit of Trikonasana. Moving on to the fifth benefit, it improves what? It improves your concentration and focus. Very important thing, especially when you're studying, right? Concentration and focus is important. Many people sit for studying for 8 hours and still they cover less portion. What is the reason? Because the span of sitting is not important. The span of attention is important. The span of reading is not important. The span of understanding is important. Quality over quantity, that's the basic thing. Quality over quantity is what needed. So basically, if you practice Trikonasana, your concentration will be more, your focus will be more. That way you don't have to sit long to cover the portions that you want. You can sit for a shorter period of time, you can sit for a shorter duration of the time, and you can cover more. You don't have to sit long hours and long hours for not just for the studies, in your regular life also. Anything that you're focusing on, you can do it if you have very good focus or if you have very good concentration. And Trikonasana helps you to achieve that. Clear? Trikonasana helps you with what? It helps you with focus and concentration. Okay? Given all the benefits, let's now jump into the contradictions of Trikonasana. What are those? First, people who are having blood pressure issues should not practice this. Again, like I said, here they have not mentioned low blood pressure or high blood pressure. They have not mentioned that. They have said blood pressure. That means if you have irregular blood pressure coming up and down all the time, it's not stable, then you're not supposed to practice Trikonasana. It's a contradiction for you. Now, like I said, please focus on the key words that you see here, small little details. You may remember blood pressure, but you may forget about low blood pressure or high blood pressure. Now here in this particular asana, people who have any kind of blood pressure issue should not practice this, but you will also come across asanas in the coming topics where you will see that particular asanas, high blood pressure people should not practice this, and for particular other asanas, low blood pressure people should not practice this. Keep the note in mind wherever it is written, wherever I am telling blood pressure, understand it can be high, it can be low, and wherever high or low is particularly mentioned, that has to be studied in that way, and that has to be understood and implemented in yogic practice in that particular way. Okay, now what is the second contradiction of Trikonasana again? People having spine and back injuries should practice this. If you have again stress on spine injury and back injury, so if you have spine and back injury, you are not supposed to practice this. Again, contradiction for you. Again, if you have a back injury and spine injury, they have mentioned particularly injury, they have not mentioned the word pain. Before in the slides we studied what? We studied pain. That situation is different. Injury is different. Injury is when you actually cause any harm physically to that particular region, to the anatomical part of that particular portion. In that case, it is called as an injury or damage or any kind of wound that you have in that particular region. If you have any kind of such spinal injury or fracture in your spine or on your back, you are not supposed to practice what? Trikonasana. Again, Trikonasana. What is Trikonasana? Triangle pose. Please keep in this mind. I hope that you understood the benefit and contradiction. Let's move on to the next asana. That is again the asanas for diabetes. Okay. Now, diabetes is another common issue that you see a lot in the current generation or current era. Now, 80% of the time, diabetes could be genetic, but that doesn't mean that the other 20% people or population should forget about the chances of them getting it. Because of the current eating habits, the chances are more compared to what it used to be. So people who are having that 20% chances are also getting diabetes. To avoid all that, you should practice the particular yogasanas that we are going to learn today. What all are those yogasanas which will help you with diabetes? First, what is the first yogasana? You can see again the image over here. What is it? You should remember this asana. What is it? It is given over here. It is Bhujangasana. What is Bhujangasana again? Bhujangasana is king cobra pose, or generally people call it as snake pose, but it is not snake pose. Please particularly call it a king cobra pose. It is called as what? King cobra pose. Second, we will study about Pavan Muttasana. After that, we will move on to Matsyendrasana, and finally we will conclude asanas for diabetes with Paschimottanasana. Now, moving on to the first one, let's dive into particularly each one of them and try to understand again their benefits. And what is the second category we are studying? Contradictions. Okay, moving on to the first, again we have, that is Bhujangasana. What is Bhujangasana? Bhujangasana is what? Bhujangasana is king cobra pose. King cobra posture or state of position is called as again Bhujangasana. What is the first benefit? It reduces obesity straight up. No talking about digestion or anything. It straight up reduces your obesity. If you practice Bhujangasana, no other twisted way of reducing. It's not about the digestion helping again with the obesity. It will directly counterattack the fat present in your body and it will help you to reduce your obesity. Second, it provides strength and agility. Stress on the word strength and agility. Strength, not much of a stress, but agility, it will help you, particularly agility, stretching more on strength, because overall any asanas that you perform in yoga, it will help you with improving your strength, but particularly Bhujangasana will help you with agility. Keep this, it's an important point, please make a note of that. Moving on to next benefit, it cures the disorders of urinary bladder. So if you have any kind of urinary bladder issue, or if you have any kind of disorders in your urinary bladder, it will help you to fix that. Bhujangasana will help you to fix any kind of problem that you have with your urinary bladder. Moving on to next, we have, it cures the diseases of your liver. So if you have again disorders in your liver, or if any kind of process in your liver or the situation of your liver is bad, it will help you to fix that particular problem. Got it? Basically, you can see how yoga is targeting different anatomical and different physiological aspect of your body. Yoga is not just a movement of your body and burning of your calorie. It is actually improving you inside out. Many people may look strong from outside, right? Their anatomy is very strong, but they may be weak from inside. Inside means again physiological part. Your heart might not be very strong, your lungs might not be strong, your liver might not be in a very particular good situation. But again, physically, you might be looking very good or you might be looking very fit. So that's not the case. Please keep this in mind. Mental fitness, physiological fitness, psychological fitness and anatomical fitness and social fitness, all of these aspects are equally important for a person to stay fit, and Yogasana or yoga helps you to achieve that. Having said that, let's move on to the next benefit of Bhujangasana, that is, it improves blood circulation. Again, common word, blood circulation, not particularly a blood circulation near a particular system of your body. Blood circulation, all over blood circulation of your body will be improved when you practice Bhujangasana. Okay? Moving on to next, the contradiction. The next category is contradiction. Like I again said, for every benefits, again we have a contradiction. For Bhujangasana, we studied all the benefits. Now you know all the benefits. Now let's see what all situations are there in which you are not supposed to practice this particular Yogasana. What are those? First, if people who are suffering from hernia and back pain should avoid that. Stress on the word hernia and back pain. So people who are suffering from hernia and people who are suffering from back pain should avoid practicing Bhujangasana. Moving on to next contradiction, pregnant women should avoid practicing this asana. Women who are pregnant should totally avoid practice this particular asana. Now moving on to the next asana, let's see what asana do we have under. You should remember, what is the second asana? What is the second asana under diabetes, for curing diabetes? That is Pavan Muttasana. Again, you can see the image over here. You have done this again in 11th standard. You know how to perform this. Brings back the old memories of 11th standard practicals, right? So let's move on to the benefits now. Pavan Muttasana, the first benefit is that it eases the tension of lower back. Now when you talk about upper torso, lower back, that is we are talking about lower vertebral column. Any problem that you have, any tension that is built up in your lower back vertebrae will be removed, or lower back muscle will be removed if you practice Pavan Muttasana. Moving on to second, it enhances the blood circulation near your pelvic area. Stress on pelvic area. Again, like I said, previous slides or previous asanas you saw, they mentioned overall blood circulation. Now here in Pavan Muttasana, it particularly helps you with blood circulation near your pelvic area. Keep that in mind. Pavan Muttasana is good for blood circulation near your pelvic area. Moving on to the next benefit, it helps in reducing the fats of thighs, buttocks and abdominal area. Again, stress on what all things, please make a note of that. You have thigh, buttocks and abdominal area. Fat build up in those areas will be burnt if you practice Pavan Muttasana. Having given all the benefits of Pavan Muttasana, let's move on to some of the contradictions that it has. What is the first contradiction? People who suffer from hernia and back pain should avoid this asana. If you come across any situation, people who suffer from this, they are again objected from practicing this. Or if you know anybody who has these issues, please tell them, you can guide them not to do this Pavan Muttasana if we have any kind of such issues, that is hernia and again back pain. Moving on to next situation, that is again pregnant women should not perform this asana. Pregnant woman is again restricted from practicing this asana. Now like I said, Pavan Muttasana is again one of the very beneficial asanas that is across there. Now practicing is, you saw all the benefits that it has, but contradictions, like I said in the first slide itself, is one thing that should not be ignored or that should not be neglected or overlooked. Always whenever you practice a particular asana, don't just learn its procedure and be done with that. Always learn the science behind it, learn the benefits, know the benefits, understand the benefits, and also keep in mind the contradictions, because contradictions cannot be overlooked. It could be fatal. And if you overlook contradictions, it could be very dangerous. So keep all that in mind. Now moving on to the next asana. What is the third asana? Come on. We already learned this. We already saw the overview of asanas under diabetes. What is the third? Third asana is again Ardha Matsyendrasana. Ardha Matsyendrasana is what? Saw the image over here. Remember again 11th standard practicals. Don't forget. That's why I told even in the 11th standard, don't forget whatever you study, because it will always show up in your 12th standard. And you will wish you had studied that, right? So certain things always you study, please keep that in mind, because it will help you with the further level of that particular topic. Now since this is yoga level 2, you should have the knowledge of yoga level 1 to understand these things, okay? Now hoping you understand the procedure and still remember how to perform Ardha Matsyendrasana. And again, let me brush up the nomenclature of that. What is Ardha Matsyendrasana again? Matsya is what? Fish. Ardha is what? Half. Ardha Matsyendrasana means again half fish pose. Now moving on to the benefits of Ardha Matsyendrasana. First we have, it keeps the gallbladder and the prostate gland healthy. The gallbladder and the prostate gland is kept healthy if you practice what? Ardha Matsyendrasana. Please remember the name. Please don't forget or misspell the spellings. In yoga asana, spellings of that particular asana is very important. Please don't forget the spelling of Ardha Matsyendrasana. Now when you hear about that, when you read, it's quite a long term, but if you break it down, it's quite small. What is it? Ardha, one word. Matsya, one word. Again, asana, one word. So basically Ardha Matsyendrasana can be learned by splitting into different terms. I have told this in your old classes, in your previous classes, that if you don't understand a particular term or a word, try to break it down and try to understand each particular words, and you will combine it together, you will understand the whole meaning of that particular word. Same you can do with Ardha Matsyendrasana. Now having said that, let's move on to the second benefit of Ardha Matsyendrasana. That is, it enhances the stretchability of back muscles. Stretchability, don't get scared, is the same word as flexibility, okay? The flexibility of your back muscles get more stretched out, or back muscle will be made more stronger. Now these days people's back muscles are not strong enough because you are used to back support chairs, lean back chairs and all those comfortable furnitures, right? So you are not using the strength of your back muscle. Since you are not using the strength of your back muscle, what is happening? Automatically your back is becoming weak, right? And suddenly when you are made to sit on a stool or sit on a chair where there is no hand support or back support, your back start feeling the pain after some 5 minutes or 10 minutes. That is the reason, because you are not practicing any kind of activities where your back is involved, your back muscle is involved. So keep that in mind. Practice Ardha Matsyendrasana so you don't lose the strength of your back muscle. It will help you with that, okay? Having said that, let's move on to the next point, next benefit. That is, it alleviates your digestive ailments. Again, welcome back digestive system. Like I said, digestive system again is very important all over, because your body's whatever food you are giving to it, it converts again your complex compounds into similar, again it sends all of and everything to the blood, and it give you energy to carry out your day and carry out your work. Okay, so again, what does Ardha Matsyendrasana do? It alleviates your digestive ailments. Again, ailments here is what? Any kind of problems, any kind of disease, or any kind of disorders that you have in your digestive system. So digestive ailments is nothing but digestive disorders. So if you have any kind of digestive disorder, it will help you to fix that by doing what? By practicing Ardha Matsyendrasana. Now let's move on to the next point. It regulates the secretion of adrenaline and bile. Ardha Matsyendrasana is recommended because it regulates what? Bile juice. Have you heard about that? Again, adrenaline. What are those functions? Anatomy class, 11th standard, physiology and anatomy in sports. Remember it, okay? What is it? Adrenaline. Whenever you get shocked, whenever you are surprised, whenever you get scared, suddenly adrenaline is released in your body to balance out the nerve system process when you face the shock or anything like that. Again, bile juice. We will not get much into the anatomy of the whole topic, but hoping that you focused on anatomy and physiology class, move on further with the contradiction of Ardha Matsyendrasana. That is, first, what is the first contradiction? Women who are 2 or 3 months pregnant should avoid this asana. A woman who is 2 to 3 months pregnant should not practice this particular asana. That particular person is again restricted from practicing this asana. Next, the individual who suffer from peptic ulcers, hernia or hypothyroidism. Now stress on the word hypothyroidism, like I again said, keywords, don't forget it, it's very important. What is it? Hypothyroidism. Now it's not written thyroidism. It could be hyperthyroidism, it could be hypothyroidism, but they have mentioned it is hypothyroidism. People who have hypothyroidism could practice this. Since it is Ardha Matsyendrasana, people who have hypothyroidism is again restricted. People who have hyperthyroidism can practice this. Okay, keep this in mind. If your thyroid condition is hyper, not hypo, you can still practice Ardha Matsyendrasana. So that's why it is important to know the particular keyword that is attached to that particular main term. So hyperthyroidism, again when you talk about blood circulation, nervous system blood circulation, regular blood circulation means all over your body. Thyroidism, again it could be any thyroidism. If you have hypo, both are restricted from practicing that particular asana. But here in Ardha Matsyendrasana, they have said what? Hypothyroidism. So keep that in mind. People who have hypothyroidism should avoid that particular asana. Moving on to next, we have Paschimottanasana. You can again see all these benefits and contradictions, but again before getting into that, just have a look at the image, the subject performing Paschimottanasana will bring back your memories again from your 11th standard practicals. You must be missing it given all the pandemic and lockdown that is going on. Okay, let's get back to the topic. Paschimottanasana. What is the first benefit? It alleviates your gas trouble, any gastric issues, okay, gastritis, any gas issues, any acidity that you have, all will be resolved when you practice Paschimottanasana. Moving on to next, it prevents the early ossification of bones. Okay, deteriorating of bones and the bone density can be delayed if you practice Paschimottanasana. People get it at the early stage, that is really bad. Okay, once people old, after a certain age, getting that ossification is quite again natural. Many people get that, but getting this in early age is not natural. So practicing Paschimottanasana will help you to reduce the ossification of bones at an early age. Moving on to the third benefit, it is good remedy for constipation. So people who are struggling with constipation, again have any kind of digestive issue, will again be benefited if you practice Paschimottanasana. Next, it helps to overcome several menstrual disorders. Any kind of menstrual disorder, menstrual dysfunction can be treated or cured when you practice again Paschimottanasana. Keep that in mind. Again, next, it gives release from sciatica, backache and asthma. So again, if you have backache, note these key points: sciatica or asthma. If you have these three conditions, again it will help you to fix that. So people who have asthma is very common, many people have that. So if you have asthma situation, again practicing Paschimottanasana will help you to solve this particular kind of an issue. Okay, now moving on to the contradictions. Like I said, we cannot forget contradiction, it should not be overlooked, it is important. Moving on to the contradiction of Paschimottanasana. The first contradiction is people suffering from enlarged liver or spleen or acute appendicitis should avoid practicing Paschimottanasana. That is again the first contradiction of Paschimottanasana. So if any of these situations are being faced, please avoid practicing this particular asana. Okay. Now moving on to the next contradiction, that is avoid doing this asana if you suffer from any kind of respiratory disease. Now respiratory is again bronchial disease. If you have any kind of, apart from asthma, any other breathing issue if you have, okay, if you have any kind of breathing issue, if you have any kind of bronchial infection, or if you have any kind of bronchial situation or bronchial disorder, that is the ailments that you have, you are not supposed to practice Paschimottanasana. Moving on to next contradiction, people with spinal problems should only practice this asana under expert guidance. Again, stress on the word what? Stress on the word expert guidance. People who have problem with the spine should not be practicing this. That's not the point. People who should have the spinal problem should not practice this if you don't have any expert supervision around you. If you want to practice this particular asana, even though you're having spinal issue, you should have any yogic expert or yogasana expert around you when you practice this. It should not be practiced without a strict supervision or an expert supervision. Hoping you understood all that we learned today. The second part of this topic will be covered in the next section. This is me, Rohit, once again signing out. Thank you.